Dylan and Cole Sprouse kicked off their careers in Hollywood as babies, and they've grown up to be multi-talented Renaissance men. Here is the transformation of Dylan and Cole Sprouse from babies to 29. The Sprouse twins were born on August 4th, 1992 in Italy and then raised in Southern California. Dylan is 15 minutes older than Cole, but the boys were in sync from the early days, embarking on their acting careers when they were still infants. Cole and Dylan took turns playing Patrick Kelly on ABC's Grace Under Fire from 1993 to 1998. Tim Gray mused to Variety, "As Grace is 8-month-old, it's impossible to tell at this point if Dylan and Cole Sprouse are the Olsen twins of tomorrow." Cole told the New York Post in 2017, "Twins work really well in the industry because child labor laws dictate a baby, as an example, can only work for like an hour a day. So with twins, the production doubles the amount of time they can work with a kid. So having two identical twin boys, my mom was like, all right, you golden ticket, let's sell it." Though Cole had memories of his life on the Grace Under Fire set, he didn't watch the series. The Sprouse brothers continued to sell it as they matured into outgoing lads with loads of personality. Dylan and Cole Sprouse made it to the big screen in 1999 as Julian in Big Daddy opposite Adam Sandler. The film grossed over $234 million worldwide.
Hey! Good job, buddy! He's peeing on his own. Keep it flowing, that's it!
In 2018, Dylan Sprouse reacted to his and Cole's childhood Big Daddy press interview with MTV. He shared, "It's funny how different we really are at this age. We had our own language too. We would speak to each other, just babble back and forth." The little Sprouses can be seen in the old MTV clip making armpit noises and arguing over who did the most scenes. Aww. Cole certainly remembers that time in his life as well. In Vogue's 73 Questions with Cole Sprouse, the actor shared that Adam Sandler was one of his mentors. He explained, "It was the way that he was always in love with production, and he worked with his friends and his family and was still able to turn and do more independent films and artistic films while balancing commercialism." Cole also said of Big Daddy, "It was this huge production, and I was 6 and I got to see New York City for the first time." He agreed in the 73 Questions interview that Big Daddy might have been an inspiration for his return to New York later. The next popular Sprouse project actually only featured one twin, Cole. Beginning in 2000, Cole Sprouse took up the recurring role of Ben Geller, Ross's first child, on a very big 90s sitcom. It might seem odd that Dylan Sprouse wasn't included, but Cole explained some logistics of the casting situation for Friends. In a witty GQ video interview, Cole answered internet questions undercover. He explored a Wikipedia entry about his solo gig on Friends and stated, "Honestly, our appearance as the same character was sort of dependent on how much screen time we had. In Friends, for example, my role was not too present. They really only needed to hire one twin because both of us were incredibly expensive." Cole Sprouse has also made the news for revealing his childhood crush on Jennifer Aniston. Cole shared on the Drew Barrymore show, "I was teased a little bit by the crew because they saw it, and I would just forget and be looking at her. The whole world had a crush on Jennifer Aniston." Barrymore responded by saying that the whole world had a crush on him too. But what about Dylan? Even though he wasn't on the sitcom with his brother, the two still found plenty of work together. As grade school kids, Cole and Dylan Sprouse were in a few movies together and started growing into young stardom. They split the part of Justin in I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus in 2001. In 2003, the Sprouses played twins in Just for Kicks, a direct-to-video release that they've also tweeted about. A fan started it with a photo of the DVD in 2016, writing, "Dylan Sprouse, Cole Sprouse, this is just in my garage." Dylan Sprouse replied to the fan and tagged Cole, saying that it's right where it belongs. Cole, on the other hand, chimed in with a real zinger. He said, "Did you misspell garbage?" Following their least favorite soccer film, Dylan and Cole Sprouse would become known to an even wider audience of kids. Ah, the sweet life of Zach and Cody. As Dylan Sprouse told the New York Times, "So we finally get to work together." This sitcom enchanted young Disney Channel viewers by bringing them into the world of the Tipton, a luxury hotel in Boston managed by Marion Mosby. Mr. Mosby is met with the twin antics of Zach and Cody Martin, who live on the 23rd floor with their mother, Carrie, who is the hotel's resident cabaret singer. The rambunctious boys interact with the hotel staff on a daily basis and befriend teen heiress London Tipton and candy counter girl Maddie Fitzpatrick. There's always a new comedic scenario for the twins as they make the hotel their home sweet home.
What have you done, Mom?
Beginning in 2005, amused fans loved watching Dylan and Cole Sprouse as Zack and Cody, respectively. As their Disney Channel days were just starting, Dylan told the Chicago Tribune what a normal day was like. Get up, go to work, which isn't really work because it's more fun than work. Go home, play some video games, feed the cats, and then go to bed. Cole added, "Besides working on the show, it's just a normal, typical day. On the weekends, we see our friends. We're not secluded from the world." When one elevator door closes, another opens. Such was the fate of the Sprouses' Sweet Life. Fans were excited that they wouldn't have to bid Zack and Cody farewell just yet. The Sweet Life on Deck premiered a few weeks after the series finale of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody in 2008. The spinoff took the teenage twins out to sea on the SS Tipton. Mr. Mosby, played by Phil Lewis, made the jump to the fancy cruise liner, as did London Tipton, played by Brenda Song. The gang was joined by new faces like Bailey Pickett, played by Debbie Ryan, and later Maya Bennett, played by Zoe Deutsch. Disney Channel president Gary Marsh told the New York Times, "This move really is an acknowledgement that the boys have changed from rambunctious moppets to full-fledged teenagers." He expected the teen characters' increased freedom to interest audiences. Cole Sprouse told People magazine, "We wanted to keep the same vibe and really show fans that it's still Zack and Cody, but just growing up a little bit more." Cole and Dylan had already spent many years with their characters, and Dylan said he and his brother were a, quote, gentle blend of both Zack and Cody. The Sweet Life on Deck continued to ride the waves of the late 2000s when Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana debuted in 2009. This Disney Channel triple crossover took after the original Sweet Life, which included an iconic special called That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana in 2006. 2010 marked 5 years of the Sweet Life franchise. The original fans, much like the stars on screen, had matured considerably. The Disney Channel was nearing a necessary pivot as its key talent prepared for new ventures. Like other shows of its kind, The Sweet Life on Deck got its own Disney Channel original movie. The Sweet Life movie premiered in March 2011, and the last episode of the series aired in May of that year. A high school graduation theme, of course, Cole Sprouse told GQ. "In the year between The Sweet Life on Deck and my foray into higher education, my brother and I both worked as interns at LA Comic Store Meltdown, where I started doing some photography, and I also worked behind the counter selling comics for a bit. After so many years aboard the SS Tipton, it seemed that Dylan and Cole were ready to brave the sea changes life brings." College was next for Cole and Dylan Sprouse. According to Teen Vogue, the brothers considered splitting off and heading to different schools, but they stayed together in the end. Cole shared, "We really wanted to get out of LA, and we wanted to study in the city. We chose NYU because their arts program was great and they're a prestigious institution. You're involved in a completely different way of life. Right after the show had ended, we were being hounded. So we really wanted to step out and fade away from the industry, and, we were pleasantly surprised at how often people reached out wondering what we were doing and where we were." The Sprouses were immersed in New York City and college life, but that didn't stop people from noticing them, especially a 17 writer who lived right next to one of the twins. He said, "Dylan Sprouse, star of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, nodded and said, 'Hey,' then breezed past me down the hall. It all happened so fast I barely had time to come to grips with what was happening. It sounds like the beginning of a romance novel, but Dylan seemed to be a pretty typical hallmate. Cole kept busy with his photography and launched a website that is now archived. He used Tumblr for sociological experimentation that was also later archived by fans. Both seemed to try and live relatively normal college lives." Following his college graduation, Cole Sprouse was an archaeological assistant to a Brooklyn artifact laboratory. Sprouse told Glamour, "I was working in a basement and there was no sun. I was like a little treasure goblin, and I ended up getting a request to fly out to LA and audition for Archie. At the Riverdale reading, he fell in love with Jughead's character, and the rest is history." The star was announced as Jughead Jones in 2016, with Riverdale debuting in 2017. Dylan Sprouse came back to acting too, just in a different arena. Dylan outlined to Vulture, saying, "I think Cole's in a place where he's very happy right now, whereas I would be happiest doing more films with a lower budget. Independent, expressive, really small scale. I tend to enjoy roles that I very closely identify with, fringe people and complicated characters who might even be bad guys or bad characters that have one redeeming quality. That's closer to my idea of what my acting trajectory should be." He has been a voiceover artist on video games and worked on independent independent films. Funny enough, the brothers couldn't resist poking fun at each other about their acting careers. Cole tweeted in 2017, "Dylan Sprouse, were you Zach or Cody?" Dylan replied to Cole, "I don't remember actually. I was too busy carrying the show on my back." The twin who played Zach was also busy crafting All Wise Meadery in 2017, officially launching the label in 2018. Dylan's had many other projects on the rise and told The Daily Beast in 2021, "I feel like my voice is louder than it has been, but I don't feel like people are fully seeing me for who I am as a creative yet." In addition to films like Tiger Tiger and After We Collided, the actor created a comic book series for heavy metal called Sun Eater. Cole told Variety in 2019, "It was inevitable that my brother and I eventually decided to pursue different parts of the industry. He and I don't really look too similar anymore, so we can't really do the whole kitschy twin thing." That being said, Dylan and Cole Sprouse are clearly individuals who appreciate each other as twins. While they may have found their own diverse career paths and creative journeys, we will always be grateful for the times they spent on screen together. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite celebrities are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.